all my fight fans. So, looks like we got ourselves some heat, some beef in the UFC right now. We got DC versus Nate Diaz. You got DC who made a statement in his podcast, the thing that he does, DC in the RC, saying how Nate Diaz was blessed in some sense. I am not quoting him 100%. I am just basically telling you in a way what he said. He's basically something like that it was a gift from God that Nate Diaz did not have to fight Khamzat Chimaev. That basically after what we saw with Kevin Holland, that Nate Diaz got a gift from Khamzat Chimaev because Nate Diaz would have pretty much got destroyed. And Nate Diaz came out and said, respect the OG, you fat motherfucker. I mean, you can't knock it on Diaz. Diaz is always going to be Diaz. You know, if you don't give him that respect, you don't give him, you don't show him any kind of respect regarding anything that he does in the fight world, he's definitely going to let you know how he feels, regardless. So what do we think about this, guys? You know, I made so many videos regarding this, and I talked about this all the damn time, and I'm going to try to do my best to keep it short, guys, because I am tired of the fact that people, after seeing what Khamzat Chimaev had done to Kevin Holland, that made me, literally all the statements that I've been hearing from the MMA community, well, not even the MMA community, the UFC community, because not really the MMA community is going off. It's just basically some from the MMA community and then a few others from the UFC are making a bigger deal than what it is. Again, Khamzat Chimaev went in there, did not make the weight, and went against a non-wrestler, a non-grappler in Kevin Holland. I don't care, he's a black belt. He is still, that is not his thing. And he trained for a kickboxer in Dan Rodriguez, I believe his name is. So that already explains itself why he was able to do what he was able to do to Kevin Holland. As far as it being possible that he would have done that to Nate Diaz, would have went down? Possibly. But doesn't mean it would have. Because, again, Nate is not afraid to go to the ground. You take him to the ground, he loves it there. He's been there. He's spent the majority of his life there. So it's not that big of a deal. Like if you went over there and, or not, excuse me, not that big of a deal. But it wouldn't be that surprising that he would take Nate to the ground because Nate, again, voluntarily does go to the ground at times. And he will get grappled to the ground. So that's one thing. Would he been able to get caught in those submissions? Who knows? More likely not. Why not? Because, again, Diaz has spent a large part of his life doing jiu-jitsu and boxing. Big of it was jiu-jitsu. He's a Gracie black belt. He has definitely spent a large part of his life in grappling as well. So just like Khamzat, could he have been able to get Nate like that? Maybe not. Maybe when he would have been able to do that takedown, he would have got trapped in a guillotine. You know, we've seen how Nate is with a guillotine. He was able to get underneath people's necks, and he's been able to submit guys who are probably a higher level grappling than Khamzat Chimaev. I know he has trouble with grapplers. Yes, I do know this. I know he struggles a lot with high intense grapplers. But nonetheless, guys, don't get no mistaken. So I don't want to hear how like he would have just got steamrolled and rolled over. No. Nate Diaz is no punk. Nate Diaz is not going to just straight up tap out and give out just like that. Like Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland, of course, you know, no disrespect to him. He did give up, but at the same token, again, he did not train for that. If maybe he trained 100%, knew Khamzat Chimaev was his opponent, then maybe I would say, damn, you know, that was a very impressive win, but it wasn't. It really, really wasn't. So for anybody to make that statement like DC did, I kind of do see why Diaz would take offense to it. Because you know this. You know that Diaz is himself a grappler, a Brazilian jiu-jitsu, a Gracie jiu-jitsu black belt. You know that getting him in submissions are not as easy as it would have with Kevin Holland. It's a different level to these things. And to say what DC said, yeah, it is kind of insulting. Because, you know, you're not going to just say that it would have been the exact same thing like Kevin Holland. No, it wouldn't have. You know, Diaz trained for Khamzat. So would have went down like that. Maybe Khamzat wouldn't even shot in like he did with Kevin Holland. Because again, maybe with Khamzat, knew he was going against Kevin Holland. That's the reason why he shot in. Because he knew right away, hey, this guy has already mentioned publicly that he has trouble with grappling. that he needs to go train grappling. So what does he have to lose? What danger was he going to go in by rushing in there with Kevin Holland? He was not going to get caught any kind of submission because he knows, again, he doesn't have a very strong grappling game. With Diaz, my thing is, I feel Khamzat would have went in there and tried to stand up with him because we know Diaz is a strong fighter when it comes to the hands. And he is definitely dangerous when it comes to shooting in and when it comes to his grappling as well. You know, you try to shoot in, you try to do his grappling, he's just as dangerous as anybody else on the ground. So I could definitely see why Diaz did definitely take it personal. What DC said. And yeah, I gotta say, like, I really wish the people that were talking about Khamzat and his great victory over Kevin Holland and how it would have been the exact same, if not worse, and Nate Diaz would stop. Because we know you got to give him respect. Diaz is a lot tougher than that, guys. A lot tougher. And a much more higher level opponent than Kevin Holland. No disrespect to Kevin Holland. So, what do you guys think? Do you think DC basically is right for saying what he said? Do you think Nate Diaz should get that respect? Or do you think all this is just one big, no big deal? And we're just looking into it too much? So guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.